Hey guys, I'm Andy. I'm the Self-Help Book Junkie, and we are back doing The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Today we have a pretty convoluted one, but I really like talking about this stuff, so you're just gonna have to buckle up and listen up, okay? So let's get on with it. Every man has the natural and inherent power to think what he wants to think, but it requires far more effort to do so than it does to think the thoughts which are suggested by appearances. To think according to appearances is easy. To think truth regardless of appearances is laborious and requires the expenditure of more power than any other workman is called upon to perform. So let's just ignore the fact that it says man, okay? He. Let's talk about the fact that controlling your thoughts is really hard. For me, I know that whenever I am allowing my thoughts to dominate, it's usually in a negative light. It's usually, well, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Oh, I would have done it like this. Oh, I know better than them. Oh, I'm better than them. Oh, ew. And it takes a concerted effort to first recognize that you're having these thoughts based off of what you see, but then also taking that to the point where you can acknowledge that, hey, I can change these thoughts, and then actually changing them. When you are living your life where you're just thinking about everything that's around you and allowing it to influence what you're doing, the world has control over you. The world is what is influencing what you're able to manifest. The world is influencing what you call into your life because it is controlling all of your thoughts. So how do we go through this process? Well, I'm going to show you. So the first is to start to recognize that you are having these thoughts. And that takes a moment of pause, stop. Wait a minute, hold on. This is a negative thought. This is happening. And just becoming aware. Becoming aware is the first step, and it is, for me, one of the hardest ones. When you become aware that you're having these thoughts, and you can even do this for the next week, right? Just become aware of these thoughts. Just become aware of, I don't like that thought. Or even thoughts of like, oh, I can't afford that, or that's not possible. Something along those lines where it's like a block. Start to notice these throughout the week. And we just have so many of these thoughts throughout the week that it's no wonder we're not all living in a gutter somewhere. So now that you've practiced becoming aware of the thought, now that you've practiced recognizing, hey, this is a thought that is not helpful, this is not getting me what I want, it's time to understand that we can actually influence our thoughts. The first step is to just pause, and then you take a second to think, I want to change this thing. This is really important for me to change because I am the master of my thoughts. I am the one that can control my thoughts. Nobody else, no circumstances, nothing outside can control these thoughts. I can though. And once you start to realize that you can control your thoughts, you're gonna be like, well, why am I having these negative thoughts? It's because those are your reflexive thoughts. Those are the patterns that you have had. So we need to sort of start to realize that because we've programmed ourselves into having these thoughts, we can deprogram out of those thoughts and program into new thoughts. Programming in new thoughts is not hard. It's easy, but it's challenging because you have to do it so many times that it can get a little frustrating. I mean, sometimes you believe that like you can change them immediately, and there is a way to do that, which I'll get to at the end here. Okay, so first, we are acknowledging that we're having a thought. Pause, take a second, hold on, this is happening, okay? Then we're like, oh, I want to change my thought. I do not want to have this thought. This thought does not serve me. Now that we have acknowledged that we can change it, now how do we change it, okay? Now it's thinking and journaling, praying, meditating on the new thoughts that we want to have. So these new thoughts that we want to have are the ones that are based in the reality that we want. So let's say that you go into a store that is a little bit out of your price range, and you go in there and you're like, I can't afford this. I can't be in here. Like, I shouldn't be in here. I have no business being in here. So you've already had thoughts that are negative, and you're like, wait a minute. I don't want to have these thoughts. These thoughts are not serving me. I want to change them. So now you think, okay, these clothes are really beautiful. Yes, I can afford them. Maybe not right now, but I can save up enough money to be able to afford them. I do belong here. I am a person worthy of respect, worthy of being where I want to be. I can look at the clothes, no problem. And you start to have these more positive thoughts about where you are in a space. So you start to untangle that negative feeling that you have in the pit of your stomach or your chest or your shoulders, wherever your negative feelings manifest from, right? In that example, we stopped from having the thought and we shifted it to the awareness of the thought, like, oh, I'm having these negative thoughts. Okay. And then we took it and said, oh, but these do not serve me. I want to change them. These are not helpful. I want to change them. And then we incorporated the thoughts that we want to change them to, the reality that we want. I can afford these. I do deserve to be here. Aren't those thoughts better to have? Aren't those thoughts more freeing? Aren't those thoughts more productive? Rather than putting yourself down, saying, oh, I don't belong here. Oh my God, I gotta get out of here. I can't afford this. Isn't it better, even if you don't buy anything, to be able to feel worthy, to be able to feel abundant? Those are the feelings that you want to start to dig out of yourself. And living at that frequency is really important. And so what Wallace is talking about is living life thinking reflexively, living life just allowing your brain to take over. You are manifesting from defensive positions. And you're manifesting things that you don't even want, because oftentimes you're having the negative thought. So having the thought that you want takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time. It takes more effort than just allowing your brain to think whatever it wants. And a lot of people give up. A lot of people quit. A lot of people say, oh, but this is how it's supposed to be. Some people don't even recognize that they're having the negative thought because they think that is the thought that they need to have. But having the negative thought disempowers you from being able to create the reality that you want. It disempowers you from being able to shift to a reality that you actually participate in. Manifestation can happen in the immediate too. So something that Dr. Joe Dispenza says, even Wallace, the thing that they say is that a lot of the thoughts that we have were created in states of heightened emotion. So if you can create a situation where you have a heightened emotion, where you are like hearts beating, feeling abundant, feeling blessed, feeling the love, feeling up, just amazing, and then you're creating these thoughts, they are more likely to imprint on your subconscious and become your reflexive thoughts, rather than coming from this point where you're just like, I can afford it, I can afford it, I can afford it, I can afford it, I belong, I belong, I belong. When you are having these thoughts, yes, most of the time it's going to take a concerted effort. But if you ever find yourself in a position where you are actually excited, where something big has happened, where you're at a celebration, you're at a party, and you are just living the life, that is a time to program your brain. That is a time to take a second to pause and to be like, let me inject this moment with the thoughts that I want. Let me inject this moment with the things that have access to my subconscious right now, because I am in such a heightened state of emotion of love, happiness, joy, freedom, that if I just start thinking the thoughts right now, they are more likely to imprint and manifest a lot faster. So to recap, step 1, notice the thought. Become aware of it. Step 2, decide that you want to change it. I can do this. Step 3, start using empowering thoughts that are contrary to the thoughts that you were having. And if you can, do it under a state of excitement, happiness, love, and joy, and abundance. All right, guys, that's it for me. I hope you guys got something out of this. I'm going to put a link to the book in the description. This book is like over 100 years old, so it is public domain. So I'm going to link Project Gutenberg. I'm also going to link to Amazon. You can also get it at the library. I'm going to put a link to my book, Writing for My Life, which is a book about how to journal, because journaling, prayer, meditation has been crucial to my personal self-help journey, okay? And finally, I'm going to put a link to my podcast. I hope you guys join me over there because you're going to get an extra dose of Andy. And if you're looking for coaching, check out my website, andyhoffercoaching.com, because I am a self-help coach. All right? Love you guys. Bye.